Dan Lawless here, West Ham Fan TV, and we have big news regarding the potential takeover of West Ham from Pi Capital. They have released a statement with a shocking revelation that none of us saw coming. It seems to be that they're a little bit more serious than we all thought, and they've actually been making some moves towards buying the club, big moves that involves the takeover of the stadium. Now, according to this statement, I'll read the statement out, but just to let you know, from this, they're saying that they have agreed a deal in principle for the long-term lease of the stadium with the LLDC. That agreement is in place subject to them taking over West Ham. If they take over West Ham, that means they get to lease the stadium, which means they will be in complete control of the stadium. They'll decide what events go on there. They'll be able to make structural changes, all of that stuff. I wanted to throw that out early on, right? But let's read this statement. There's a lot in there, so stick with me. Pi Capital can confirm that we have reached the core principles of an agreement with LLDC regarding a long-term lease over the London Stadium that would see Pi taking full control of the stadium. This would be on the condition of Pi successfully concluding a deal for majority control with the current owners of West Ham United. So that's a deal for the current control of the club, right, with the owners. Whether that's a full takeover or them becoming majority shareholders with GSB or, you know, Sullivan or whatever still on board as minority shareholders. That's the condition. The stadium needs to be a home of which the club and its fans can be proud of. The bowling has gone, times move on, and with the right adjustments under the right ownership, we believe that this stadium can meet the needs of fans old and new. It will require changes to the configuration within the stadium itself, as well as extended facilities for fans in and around the ground that will significantly improve matchday experience, right? So having things outside the grounds like fan zones and things like that, but also changing it internally to make it more football like, you know, more suitable for football is what I believe they're saying. That's my interpretation. As things stand, divergent interests prevent the stadium from reaching its full potential despite it attracting the biggest events in sport and entertainment. The current arrangement between the stadium owners and the club limit opportunities to integrate the club and the stadium into the Olympic Park as a whole. Our vision is for the club's interests and activities to be integrated with those of the entire park. Friends and families coming to watch men's, women's or academy matches should be able to enjoy everything the area has to offer instead of being shuffled from station to seat and back again, which is, you know, a lot of the stuff in and around the stadium is not great. So Philip Beard of Pi states, in summary, we are pursuing an ambitious and complex deal. There has been too much controversy and contention over the past few years. We generally believe that the club, stadium and park will thrive when stakeholders are pulling in the same direction. The only thing holding us back for now is the reluctance of the club's owners to engage in constructive and realistic negotiations. We believe they are willing to sell, and we hope we can make progress in the coming weeks. Nasib Piriev of Pi adds, we do not underestimate the challenge nor the importance of running a football club. We have an experienced, dedicated team in place for this aspect, with ambassadors of the club playing a key role to ensure that we stay true to the claret and blue traditions. We cannot recreate Fortress Upton Park at London Stadium, but we can make significant improvements to the configuration, the catering and hospitality, and the transition from station to stadium for the fans. Moreover, we intend to stay loyal to the core values of the club to the end. We are delighted that the likes of Rio Ferdinand has agreed to be involved. Here's what Rio had to say. Rio Ferdinand confirmed his commitment to the project. We love this club with a passion. Both Anton and I are really happy that Pi want to come in and help improve the experience for fans. And I'm delighted they have asked us to play a big part in the club if their bid succeeds. Obviously, we know what this club means to the community and how much the fans want to continue to see homegrown talent come through into the first team. It will be an honour to be able to give something back to a club that means so much to me, Anton, and our family. A lot to unpack there. A lot to unpack. So, the stadium, right? Like I said, they want to lease the stadium. They'll have full control if the owners, the reluctant owners, agree to sell. But that's going to be on them. They believe they want to sell, but they're not being constructive. I think what they've said is, the owners are still trying to look for this ridiculously high price, and they're not willing to come to the table. Now, the involvement of Rio Ferdinand has soured it a bit for me. Of all the ex-players that they could have picked, they've picked Rio Ferdinand to be involved. Someone who I used to have respect for, but he's constant begging for Declan Rice to leave the club and go and join Man United. Makes me question, does he really have West Ham's best interest involved? The guy is clearly converted to being a Man United fan. All of a sudden he's a big Man United fan because he played there and won trophies there, and all of a sudden. And he seems to sort of turned his back on West Ham and doesn't seem to care about what happens to West Ham and us losing our best player. And all of a sudden now he's involved with this new ownership and believes that he's going to do what's best for West Ham. So what happens when it comes to Man United offering 50 mil for Rice? Is he going to advise Pi to take it or what? Do you know what I mean? That's kind of pissed me off a bit. I'm interested. I like the whole taking control. I prefer outright ownership, but it's this whole taxpayer thing I think is very difficult. Now, if they can lease it, they can still say, well, the taxpayers own it and get something back, but they can actually do what they want. And that's the biggest annoyance of the stadium, is that we aren't in control of it. The LLDC control the catering, everything that goes on around it, all the other events, the athletics, all of that stuff, and that just pisses me off. If we can actually have that, that would be good. They haven't really talked about investment in this statement. I know they've done it in another statement previous, but it would be a nice to. I want to know more about how much money have you got. How much money have you got to spend on this football club? Because there's, Pi Capital are worth 14 billion, but then they're saying this is a different entity. We need more information about what they've got to play with and how realistic it is that they can make West Ham serious contenders. We all want GSB out, but it's trying to be cautious. I'm not gonna write these people. Look, either way, it's fucking out of our hands anyway, isn't it? It's out of our hands whether they buy it or not. If Sullivan agreed to sell it to these, it's theirs. But at the same way, they need to realise, look, as vocal as we have been with GSB out, if these guys don't live up to what they're saying they do, it will be Pi out, right? All the way. So we'll be just as vocal as we have been against GSB against them, if they don't live up, because we've had too many broken promises and things that haven't really been lived up to. So it's going to be interesting. Stuff like that. Having the experience in and around the stadium improved. That's all well and good. It's not really a priority for us though at the moment. The main thing, obviously, we want serious investment in the team. Now, we see the way the transfer window's going. It's dragging. We've signed 2 goalkeepers, and that's it. And we need investment. Moyes needs backing. So that's at the heart of what the clubs the fans care about. Also making that stadium a little more fit for purpose. And this does beg the question. If they can agree this lease with the LLDC, why couldn't Gold and Sullivan agree this lease with the LLDC? So we can have complete control over it. Why have Pi got this agreement, but Gold and Sullivan can't? That's what I want to know. And if anyone has any answers, I'd be very interested. Beyond just that Gold and Sullivan are completely incompetent and useless, there's got to be a reason there why they can't go. If you want to keep the club, then why don't you go and make that offer to the LDC? Well, give us the lease then. If you're not willing to sell it, then get the fucking lease and let us have complete control over it. This is the thing, I'm so done with Gold and Sullivan. I'm so over them. But I'm still cautious about these guys, and I really thought Tony Cottee was the guy involved. He's been involved in consortiums before. Of all the it's just weird that they were approached Rio. Like Anton, I have a lot of respect for Anton, a lot of time for Anton. He still loves the club greatly. Still talks about us in high regard. Anton, no problem about him being involved. It's Rio. I think the guy is a clown, and I have no real interest in him being involved, and I have no faith in him, no trust in him, based on his actions towards the club and all of that embarrassing begging for Declan Rice to leave. When he, oh yeah, I want to give back to the club. Piss off, Rio, mate. Yeah, but it just shows. This shows how actually serious they are about buying the club. That they've already agreed a deal in principle with the owners of the stadium that we occupy to lease it. Obviously, that's why they said they can't give it to them until they own West Ham, because West Ham have a 99-year tenancy agreement, so they can't give it to these guys, and then now you've got full control of the stadium because we've got that agreement. So if they get the club, they get the stadium in so many words. So yeah, very, very interesting. Very interesting. I don't know. We're going to have to see. Like I said, it's out of our hands regardless. But whatever's happening with this, let's not let it distract from the fact that these bastards need to invest in the playing staff. Gold and Sullivan are here now, and we need to hold them accountable and not let this be a distraction away from the transfer window. I don't want to hear any excuses of we're not signing players because of this pie thing and it's uncertainty and all of this. We're in Europe. We need backing, because if we go into the season with our squad like this, as good as the players are, we're going to really be in big trouble, because there's no way we're going to be able to play in all their competitions and not get injuries and not suffer. So this, very interesting, a little bit concerning at the same time, and we will find out more. So we'll keep you guys updated the more that we hear. But let me know what you guys think. How do you feel about that statement? Are you excited? Are you happy? Are you worried? Are you dismissing them completely? Or do you want to hear more? Do you want more information? Like myself. But yeah, the Rio involvement is a big no from me. Not interested in him having anything to do with his club. So thank you guys for watching. We'll keep you up to date with all the transfer news and all the other goings on. Thank you guys so much for watching. One thing left to say. Come on, you Irons.